Hello friends, I am MovieRecap NL and this is the sharing film. Some people cannot understand what happened, they told the truth to their eyes. The film begins and we see some prisoner who seems to want to wake up from sleep. Unlike other films, this man does not understand how he got here or why he is here. The prisoner tries to escape, but it is useless. There is a toilet and a shower in the cell as well as a computer. Before him comes a young man thinking about who is watching him, asks several questions but gets no answers. The prisoner who wanted to escape sees two soldiers. When he types a command into the computer, he receives the response from the guard. With no other choice, the prisoner begins to beg. The night. The prisoner gives his water purchase money to a man. The man with a shaved head, believing he is a guard, watches carefully. The prisoner, realizing the situation, begins to send pigeon messages at night, but this is not enough to buy food. He cannot get enough water. The man is powerless and the prisoner gives some money to a guard and the young man continues to beg. After gaining enough money, he buys food, but his behavior resembles that of a dog. The prisoner tries to take back the food, but it is useless. Eventually, the young man who began begging like a dog becomes somewhat hungry. Unable to buy food, the young man finally decides to take a desperate measure. The next day, the young man, now in his cell, begins to create excellent drawings for the visitors. The results are good: a t-shirt, a mattress, and some paper for begging. Over time, the number of prisoners increases, giving more opportunity to buy things. But the young man, who has become angry and desperate, breaks the monitor with a kick, which causes some lights to go out. Then he tries to break the wall-mounted monitor but fails and the food slot breaks. The distressed young man asks for his belongings to be returned but receives no help. He asks the visitors for forgiveness and pleads for help. The desperate prisoner finally notices that every day a new prisoner enters and an old man appears on the screen. It turns out the old man is also a prisoner, but the old man is more experienced than the prisoner. He explains that some prisoners do not even drink salt water and that after prisoners reach a certain level, they are allowed to participate in general meetings. The prisoner talks with other isolated prisoners. He initially thinks the old man is taken to human gatherings, but the old man understands that the newcomers have only just opened their eyes here. One thing is clear: the newcomers played games with them. They continue the conversation, but the old man says there is only one thing, the prison, but for begging, he does everything possible. But this does not help the prisoner. One night, the old man wakes the prisoner and asks what is happening outside. Meanwhile, by chance, he meets other prisoners. The prisoner is number 14 and the old man is number 73. It turns out every prisoner uses their knowledge to create content. The prisoner is worried that the old man is practicing yoga. For the last 6 days, number 14 spends most of his time with number 73. The old man who teaches yoga enters the channel of number 14 and gives some advice. One day, number 73 appears on the connection. They have developed well and need to improve their content. Hearing this, the prisoner organizes stand-up shows, creates humor, and takes on some coaching roles. This brings many spectators, and naturally, the prisoners like it. The old man, who buys medicine for the prisoner from the hotel, uses the medicine. After the medicine runs out, the prisoner suddenly hears a broadcast from Channel 11. The woman who came out of this broadcast looks at him like a thief. But number 14, a prisoner who is somewhat familiar with the woman, at some point turns 70 and says goodbye to them, asking for forgiveness for his mistakes or betrayals. The prisoner is punished for the betrayal. The woman uses the information she has to suggest a sensitive topic for the list. But fearing punishment, the old man hides it from the woman. The woman does not understand why they were punished. The prisoner feels he is no longer needed but admits that he has to start a better life than before. After the celebrations, the prisoner gives the woman a curtain to understand. During the long days, the prisoner continues drawing and creates excellent drawings, but his inaccuracy turns it into a comedy. This poor young man buys himself some medicine, but the woman's patience runs out and she starts to resist. This causes a conflict. Unfortunately, the old man's lungs fail and he loses consciousness. His blood pressure rises and he cannot control himself for a long time. The prisoner asks the visitors for help. Meanwhile, the woman searches for help on the computer. At that moment, the woman's instructor writes a command that causes the old man's chest to burn. The consequences are After this incident, the youth suffering from stress does not make any moves for several days. One day, prisoner number 11 tells the old man he wants to give him forgiveness for his mistakes. To lift his spirits, they arrange a puppet show. Several days later, the woman asks to drink privately and to participate in the broadcast. After some hesitation, the last days of freedom are heard and they start to cheer. Their mood improves and they start dancing without music, looking at each other and holding hands. The hope in their hearts. The next day, the prisoner agrees with the woman's decision. For this, all prisoners unite their knowledge and understand the sensitive issues in the system. The prisoner who went to visit the old man tells him about the good things that have happened. After this, new functions appear and they benefit from them. After this event, the prisoner is told that the yoga teacher's voice is ready to be heard. After a winter conversation, he goes to lesson 28 and continues to search for other channels. The older prisoners support them. Soon, the 28th begins lessons, and meanwhile, number 14's voice. But soon number 11, who joined them, suggests they need fighters inside. For several days, number 11 searches other channels to find weaknesses in the system. The results of the search include functions like ventilation control and wall monitoring. Number 11 helps to create a map of the channels. However, the prisoner feels he is losing control. Those in charge say that it is better for Iraq and they should not disturb the happiness of the dying. But number 11 opposes this and signals a warning. One day, lesson 28 begins yoga classes and this releases the tension of number 11. The woman who disrupted the lesson tells John Lee Effier that others are disturbing her sleep. At this point, their relationship becomes tense and number 28 accuses number 11 of not respecting other bloggers. The conflict. This results in a conflict involving yoga teacher Apachin, who is accused of theft. The first guest of the yoga teacher tries to resolve the dispute. The first guest responds to this. Seeing this, number 14 falls into despair and depression, but there, incomprehensibly. The prisoner who has not lost hope turns back and tells other bloggers that number 11 is unbearable, then angrily shuts up. Poor prisoner, he faces yet another lifelong problem. So what do you think of the film? You did not understand, the film is over. That is, you should use your given opportunity and time wisely.